one or two points of yesterday's evening. When the mind is free from all imaginations, endowed with discrimination, it is restrained. That mind is different from the mind which has slept. The mind after sleep, endowed with all potential tendencies that become the seed of many vicious deeds or bad deeds, he says. So there is a lot of difference between the mind that has been restrained and the mind which has slept. Mind becomes dissolved in deep sleep. Restrained mind does not sleep and it is not dissolved. Knowledge means consciousness, which is exactly nature of the self. Knowledge means, he says, it is consciousness. The consciousness and knowledge are not different. Brahman has that knowledge and light. When you say Brahman is having the knowledge as well as light, self-effulgent. Satyam Jnanam Anandam Brahma. So Jnanam is knowledge. His very nature is what we call is knowledge. Is knowledge itself. It is all pervading like ether. Brahman is all pervading like ether. As regards Brahman, there can be no routine practice of any kind. That he told yesterday. That is, from the absolute state he is telling, no practice. But to remove the latent tendencies of the mind, to remove the ignorance, in the beginning, some practices are necessary. After removing the ignorance, no practice. You are itself. You are Brahman itself. Brahma Veda, Brahmaiva Bhavati. The knower of Brahman becomes Brahman himself. But he cannot create and dissolve. That particular power is with only Ishvara. Now, he is telling the adjectives. Yesterday, we read some of the adjectives of the Brahman. Ajam, Anidram, Aswapnam, Anamakam, Arupakam, Sakrat Vibhatam, Sarvajnam, Nopachara Kathanchana. Brahman is birthless, sleepless, dreamless, nameless, formless, ever resplendent and omniscient, he says. There can be no routine practice of any kind. As regards that which is birthless, sleepless, dreamless, regarding that. So, previously also I told, when you experience that, Brahman, that you are one with that, you are full of knowledge. After experiencing, after removing the ignorance, nothing to do. You are already that. So, since the limiting agent like body is there, he just remembrance. He cannot do anything else. So, he will be meditating on that, or he will be in that, enjoying the bliss. Because of the prarabdha, somehow he has to lead the rest of the span of the life. So he is, as a Jivan Mukta, he moves here and there, but for him no duty. That he is telling the adjectives. Kincha sakrad vibhatam, sadaiva vibhatam, sada bharupam. What is that? It is ever resplendent, always of the nature of resplendence, since it is devoid of non-manifestation and manifestation. Page 447. Consequent on non-apprehension and misapprehension respectively. He says, always of the nature of resplendence and devoid of non-manifestation and manifestation. No manifestation is there in that. Bharupam agrahana anyatha grahana avirbhava tirobhava vajjitam. Avirbhava is manifestation. Tirobhava is non-manifestation. And grahana is what he has given? Apprehension and non-apprehension. Grahana and agrahana. That he has given. So, there is no non-apprehension and misapprehension in that. No manifestation, no non-manifestation, nothing is there. Then what is it? It is ever resplendent, self-effulgent. Grahana grahanehi ratyahani tamascha avidya lakshanam sada aprabhatatve karanam. Apprehension and non-apprehension, or like day and night, and the darkness of the nature of ignorance is the cause of non-manifestation. Again he says, apprehension and non-apprehension, or like the day and night, and the darkness of the nature of ignorance is the cause of non-manifestation. Why it is when it is there within you, why it is not getting manifested? You are already that. You are in that. That is within you. And then non-apprehension. See the beauty. You are in that. And he is in you. Then why non-apprehension? Because of ignorance, he says. Of the nature of ignorance is the cause of non-manifestation. Tat abhavat nitya chaitanya bharupatvat cha yuktam sakrut vibhatam. Again he says, inasmuch as this is absent in Brahman, and as Brahman, which ignorance, or non-apprehension, or apprehension, or manifestation, or nothing is there. So, inasmuch as this is absent in Brahman, and as Brahman is by nature the light, which is eternal consciousness, it is the light, eternal consciousness, it is only reasonable that it is ever resplendent. It is light and light and light alone. That we experience in dream, the light, and the presence we feel in deep sleep. that something is there beyond the mind. Ateva sarvancha tad jnaswarupancha iti sarvajnam. This we have told previously also. Therefore, itself, it is all and is also the knower. Before creation, what is there? Only that, nothing else is there. It has become everything. So no contradiction if we say, therefore itself, it is all. And he is inside everything. Sarvatmatvat. He rules, he knows. No contradiction. So is called Sarvajna. Sarvatmatvat they say. How he is ruling? He is staying inside everything. That we explained through Antaryami Brahmana. In Ishvara and Antaryami, what is the difference? In Ishvara, consciousness is more predominant and the limiting adjunct is very less. Whereas in the Antaryami, the limiting adjunct is more conspicuous and the consciousness is less. Why? Because he says he is inside every object. So naturally, the limiting agent becomes more conspicuous. That is called Antaryami. And now he says, he has become everything and he knows everything. Therefore, it is all and is also the knower. And at the same time, simply he told that he is also the knower. Knower it is all as sarvam janati sarvajnaha. But here the meaning is sarvascha saujñascha. He is the knower and he is in everything. That is karmadare samas. Sarvascha saujñascha. But sarvam janati sarvajnaha. He knows everything. What everything? What gods are doing, what gods have to do, what a human being should do, where will be his birth, where he passes away, how much he studies, how much he earns, and where he stays. All these things are predestined when the child is in the womb of the mother. In the womb of the mother. Then when everything is predestined, what he has to do? Do you think he has to do nothing? Just remember his own self. Remember Atma. By that, you can get rid of the cycle of birth and death. Otherwise, again coming, again going. And whenever you take a body, some difficulties, some sorrows, you may not express it, but inside some war will be going on at times. Pulling that side, pulling this side. You may not express it, you may not tell it to others. Naiha brahmani evam vidha upachara kartavyaha. As regards this Brahman of such a nature, there can be no routine practice as in the case of others, namely concentration of the mind, etc., which are different from the nature of the self. Tripudi, knower, knowing and known, that is only in the state of ignorance. When ignorance is not there, when it is removed, when the mind is pure, all the impurities are removed, then nothing to do. Be in that. So, previously we gave another small instruction. What? Be and make. What to be? You be first Brahman. You experience it. Then you make others. But the market of gurus, masters, is so hot. Without knowing anything, they start teaching. That is more common in India. That one is there, what is his name? Now he is in jail. Asharam Bapu. One is there, Asharam Bapu. Asharam Bapu is his name, Bapu. So, lakhs and lakhs of followers were there behind him. But he was caught for something and now he is in jail. But still, they think, no, he is our God. What can be done? Because they found some mistakes in him, they have put him. Even his son also was put. He is also. So, then by this what you are concluding? That there is no be and make, only make and make without being. As regards this Brahman of such a nature, there can be no routine practice as in the case of others, the concentration of the mind, etc., which are different from the nature of the self. So, Sri Ram Krishna gives a small illustration. But of course, it is in those days, because he was living in a village. In village, there were not even these hand pumps to get water. So they used to go to one particular pot and they bring the water and they used to put something to clean the water. With that they used to prepare food, and that water even they used for washing the clothes, like this, so many things. Only because that is only the source. But what happened in a particular village? Somebody was putting some impurities in the water. Then many people told, see, we are drinking this water, why you make it impure? They never hear. They do their own work. Then what they did, all the villagers went to the police station and told the inspector, and he just puts a notice near the wall of the pond. Whoever put impurities in the pond will be punished, he will be put in jail for so many days. But everything is stopped. When everybody is telling, why they didn't hear? So, when a police puts, they hear, that means that is B. He is having that authority. He is having that power. So, what Sri Ramakrishna says, get the power, be and make. By intense practices, discrimination, dispassion and regular practices, first you experience something. Then you can distribute. At that time, you need not distribute by yourself. For that also, in Shastras, there is illustration. If in a good garden, if rose flowers, if they blossom, and the scent, the smell, good smell, will be spreading to all the places. The rose flower need not go and touch somebody's nose. The smell itself going. In the same way, when a saint is there, and if he has realized, his power will be distributed automatically. People will come to him, he need not go to anywhere. The idea is Brahmana evam vidu upachara kartavya. Upachara means here, he says, meditation and other things is not necessary. Yani yesham atma swarupa vyatirekena sadhanadi upacharaha. What are the upachara? It is meditation. Nitya suddha buddha mukta swabhavatvad brahmana kathanchana na kathanchidapi kartavya sambhavo avidyan ashe ityartha. The idea is that since Brahman is eternal, pure, intelligent and free, there is no possibility of anything to be done in any manner after the annihilation of ignorance, but not before that. It is, though it is existing always, everywhere, still he says, because of ignorance, agrahana is there. You cannot experience it through the senses, both internal and external. The individual is in the limiting agent, but his ego is not manifested in sleep and soon. His ego, individual is having an agent, limiting agent, but his ego, aham, is not manifested in sleep and soon. When he says, I am the doer, then comes misapprehension. After waking, if he says, I am the doer, then he is attached to that limiting agent, and he says, he becomes one with that and says, I am the doer. That is called anyatha grahan, non-apprehension, misapprehension. And he manifests. See, he has given two words, manifest and non-manifest. In the sleep, because though the agent is there, this ego has not manifested. But when he wakes up, when he says, I am the doer, I am the enjoyer, I and mine manifest. When it is not there, it is, when these two things are not there, one, the unmanifested ego is not there, and the doership and enjoyership is not there. These things come because of the ignorance. When the ignorance is completely removed, then he says, it is full of light, only Brahman and Brahman alone. Before the knowledge, he has to do something. What? He says he should know the scriptures and should have the teachings from the master. With the help of these two things only, he can experience. Then, in day-to-day life, we see many saints that they are not having any scriptural knowledge. There was no teacher to them. Then, how they are experiencing? That means, those things they had in their past life, like Ramana Maharshi, Sri Ramakrishna, so many saints are there. So, bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan mam prapadyate. After many births, so in the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, there was an illustration that it is, in Hindi it is called Seva Sadhana. That is, they bring a dead body, so many things they bring, and they sit on that, and in the Amavasya night, so they perform some puja. By that they get some power. So one fellow brought a dead body, did all the things, performance. Little is left. By the time a tiger came and swallowed it. Another fellow was seeing all these things. So because he thought everything is ready, so let me do the rest. So just 1 minute he did something and Kali appeared before him. Then he asked, he has done so many things and you have not given appearance to him and you are giving to me. Oh, like this, like him. Many births have passed, you don't know. This is the last, but this much was remaining for you. That's why I gave the darshan, she says. So, here, this is that performance, what they do, that is, bahunam janmana amante jnanavan mam prapadyate. Only in the last life. So now showing this, Sri Ramakrishna once asked, Hare, he has done so much, and now he is moving like a madcap, forgetting everything. What is this? Then Kali says, you don't know how many times you have become mad in your previous lives. This is your last life. See, that Kali says. In this connection, I would like to narrate the incident occurred with Sriharsha. Sriharsha was the writer of Khandana Khanda Khadya. That is a famous book. What we are reading all the while is Laghu Prasthana. It is small. It is a path for realization, but it is small. So there are 3 other books which are called Bruhat Prasthana. In that, one is called Khandana Khanda Khadya. We already discussed Vada, Jalpa and Vitanda. In that only Vitanda is there. That means you are not correct. He won't tell about himself that I am all that. You are not correct, you are refuted. That means I am correct. That is called, what happened, the Sriharsha's father, before his birth, that he was in the womb of the mother, and his father was refuted in the court in some discussion. So he could not bear the censure. So he wanted to jump in the river and give up the body. Who? Sriharsha's father. But he told his wife, you see, a son is in your womb. When he becomes little elder, one Chintamani mantra it is called. Chintamani mantra. So he tells her, give this to Sriharsha. But as a small boy, he will be doing, you have to arrange everything. Then how he will get the power of the Chintamani mantra? Same thing. In the night, he has to bring a dead body, bring so many things, sit on that and chant. And mother has arranged everything because he wanted to take revenge, his father. So, by the say power of this mantra, nobody can refute Sriharsha. And at that such a small age, He got that power, and what he was talking, though he was talking in this Sanskrit, nobody could understand. In such a high language he used to speak. Then they told, you see, this is very difficult. Whatever he speaks, we don't understand. Something we have to do. So, all the community have decided that as a boy, when he was sleeping in the night, a wet cloth should be put on his body. Wet cloth. And he should be given the food of black gram dal. Udad. Udad dal. So, that reduces the buddhi, intelligence. So, for many days, he was fed that same food, and night mother used to cover. Then people used to understand a little. So that is the power of Chintamani. And afterwards, he wrote this Khandana Khanda Khadya. So, but you see, previously I told, some mantras are there, they are, you see, of the evil spirits. But this is not like that. This is appeasing Goddess Saraswati. She blesses us. Now, there was a big saint by name Kashikananji. So, he went to Mukambika, one place is there. See, there he did penance and he got this power of some mantra. So, in all over India, all the Shankaracharyas are there, big saints there. Nobody can refute any argument. Such a big scholar he became. That is recently passed away. So, there is power in the chantings, in the mantras. Previously I told you that it is only a sound, it is only a pronunciation, but the power of the all-pervading Brahman is inherent in that. It is, potentially it is there. So, while chanting the name, don't forget this, that it is having such a power. Sivarnji Maharaj again and again he says, chant the name, he says. So, he says, there is a saint by name Tulsidas. You must have heard. He wrote Ramayana. In that one particular line he writes, just by chanting and chanting the name of the Lord, especially in this Kali age, you will be liberated. That he says. So, why all this thing has come? So much of gossip. That, you see, I told, some saints are there, they may not read the scriptures, they may not go to the masters, but they realize because of the past. That we have explained. After the teaching of the master, after reading the scriptures, one can grasp Brahman. So, the opponent asks, see, proponent was telling, you should go to the master, have his teaching, you should read the scriptures. So, by that, he will realize. So, there is this manifestation and non-manifestation are there. grahana, manifestation and non-manifestation. The Brahman will be manifested after knowing the scriptures, after having the teachings of the master, and after the self-experience. That means it is manifested after doing these three things. So, we should accept that manifestation and non-manifestation is there in Brahman. Why? Because first he has refuted and come. Grahana is not there in Brahman. Now the opponent is asking. He says no. Why? The day and night are not in the sun. Day and night are not in the sun. But we imagine. So, manifestation and non-manifestation is not there in the Brahman. It is your imagination. I am ignorant, I wanted to know. I want to manifest from within. That you think. In the same way, thinking of Brahman creates manifestation and non-manifestation. That is the imagination of the individuals. But nothing is there in the Brahman. They are created by limiting agents. Why? Because of the gross body, subtle body, so and so. So the self always is effulgent. It is formless. And if ignorance is not there, then from the standpoint of the view of the Brahman, that the Brahman is not attached to ignorance or union. So what he says, making this as reason that ignorance is not there in Brahman. The moment ignorance is there, he becomes Ishvara. Ignorance and Maya are not different. Just another thing I told you, you should remember, the illusion is under the control of Brahman. And the individual is under the control of illusion. But this much. Both are in control. He controls the illusion and illusion controls the individual. Bas. Gone. So he has to do something. So taking that as the reason, another adjective he is giving. Whatever has been told, that he is making as reason, and again telling, Atayeva sarvam cha tajjagna surupasancha sarvagyam. The Brahman is all-knowing, Brahman is all-pervading, and he has become everything. See, the proponent says, you should know the scriptures, you should go to the master, and then only you will realize, you will experience. Then opponent says, so Brahman gets manifested for a particular person. Before it is not manifested. So when first what you told, proponent, there is no manifestation or non-manifestation in Brahman. But now you see, when you say that you have to go to a master and you have to know the scriptures, through that only it is manifested. So that is the opponent says. So he says, The manifestation and non-manifestation are not there in Brahman. Then where are they? It is the imagination of the individual. Who has, now Sarvajna he told, he is the knower of all. Who has restrained the mind, he becomes the he becomes Brahman. Who has restrained the mind, he becomes Brahman. Brahma Veda Brahmaya Bhavati. The man of knowledge, the man of knowledge, again he says, you see, the contradiction in the very word, in the very sentence. The man of knowledge, if he thinks, I have to attain samadhi, then still he is in ignorance. He is not having the proper knowledge. For the formless, the samadhi is used in subsidiary meaning. Now, afterwards, somewhere he will be explaining what is the meaning of samadhi. First he told, though he is a man of knowledge, but still he thinks, I have to attain samadhi. That means he is not a man of full knowledge. Some ignorance is there. He says, I have to attain. And you are already that. So, some of the devotees, they come and ask our 10th pontiff, Swamiji, do you think that we can realize God in this very life? Is it possible for us? First he says, fool number one, you are already God, you are already Atman. What to attain? Simply remove the ignorance. So, the very first word he uses. In the same way, now here he says, he is a man of knowledge, but he thinks, I have to attain samadhi. Samadhi it is all right, but what the scripture is giving the meaning of samadhi? Samyak adhiyate manaha yasmin iti samadhi bahuri samasa. Where the mind is nicely dissolved. That means it becomes Brahman. What is samadhi? It is Brahman. You are already Brahman. Again, why do you say, I want to attain Brahman? So, there is something drawback in his knowledge. He says, I am the man of knowledge. This he says, you see, Panditam Manya. In Kathopanishad he says, Dandramimana Paryanti Mudha Andhenaiva Niyamana Yadhandha. So they think they are having full of knowledge, but they are not having. They are blind and they lead the blind, and both will be dropped in a pit, will be jumping. So samadhi, what is the meaning of samadhi? Brahman. That what he derives. Samyak adhiyate manaha yasmin. But my words are a little this side, that side. Again it will come. There we will again explain. For the formless, the samadhi is used in subsidiary meaning. No, it will come. I will give the definition. It is there somewhere. Samadhi. Asmin parasmin atmani nikshipyate jiva tad upadhisya iti samadhi. Asmin, in this. And what is this? This is the absolute. Asmin parasmin. Atmani. And what is that? What is this and what is that? It is only Atma. In that nikshipyate, abedham apadyate. Nikshipyate, not just keeping. That is, he becomes one with that. No difference. Abedham nikshipyate jivaha. Now, whoever thinks that he is jiva, with what he is getting united, he says, tad upadhisya. Jiva also is gone, his limiting agent also is gone, where he has united with the Brahman. That is called samadhi. That is Paramatman. Only one thing is there. For the formless, the Brahman, if you use samadhi, then it is in subsidiary meaning, not in the main meaning. This is nothing for a man of knowledge who has experienced Brahman. So, there is nothing for a man to do who has already experienced. So now he is giving the opposite illustration. Yatha anyesham atma swarupa vitirekena samadhanadi upacharaha. Those who are ignorant, they think that we have to get samadhi. Those who have not experienced self, that is, they are not neglected. Why? Because of the ignorance, they practice samadhi, he says. They are not neglected. Practice samadhi means what? They want to experience their own self. Only in the state of ignorance, all the actions, even like taking the teachings of the master, all these will happen only in the state of ignorance. In the absence of ignorance, no action. Vidyana badhitana vritya. That is, see, in the absence of ignorance, no action, he says. Not even taking the teachings from a master. That's all right. But he says, badhitana vritya. That is, the children, at times, they go outside in the night. Children. Even elders also. But in the night, lights are not there in the outside. So, a tree's stem is there, and he thinks, a thief is standing there. So, just runs back. That means, the stem of the trunk of a tree, which is cut into man's level, is there. Sthanurva purushova. Now he is having some doubt. He thinks it is a thief. That's why he immediately comes inside out of fear. But morning when he goes back and sees, oh, this is the trunk of a tree or stem. So, what happened? Now in the night, you have thought it is a thief. In the morning, there is no thief. So, that was removed. That is called badhitanu vritya. In the same way, here, the absence of ignorance. In the absence of ignorance, there is no action. Badhitanu vritya. Tat karyasya anurutya samskarena vyavaharaha. So, the now they do think that because of the past impressions, they think, or because of the semblance of ignorance, they think that we have to get samadhi. It is, but for a man of realization, it is only appearance. Yesterday I gave what illustration? A rope was there. It was burnt. But you see that as the rope, but it cannot bind. In the same way, that is called badhitanuvritti, that also you can tell. And anuvritya samskarena vyavaharaha. So, in the man of realization, we see even after realizing, he will be moving here and there. But for him, there is no good or bad. That is also we can call badhitanuvritya. It is only semblance of appearance, but he is already become Brahman. Brahmaveda, Brahmaya bhavati. So, that is Badhayam samanadhikaranam, first what I had told. Badhayam samanadhikaranam. Samanadhikaranam, making two things as one. Sthanurva purushova. He has made the stump of the tree as the thief. So there is no difference he found in the beginning. That is called Badhayam samanadhikaranam. That means when he knows, he removes the thief and is this. That is. But here, it is not Badhayam samanadhikaranam. Badhitanuvritya. That still we see some of the actions. They are a semblance of appearance only. As we burn a rope and we see from a distance a rope is there. When you want to take it, only ash you will get. So, that is called bhadyanuvritti. Even after taking away the part, the wheel will be moving on. That is bhadyanuvritti, you can say. Now, anamakattvadi uktartha siddhaye hetu maha. In the last karika, that is 36, ajam anidram aswapnam anamakam arupakam. For Brahman, there is no name and form. It is completely formless and no adjectives. That he wanted to explain. Anamakattvadi uktartha siddhaye hetu maha. The reason that goes to prove namelessness, etc., mentioned above, is being cited again. Sarvabhilapa vigataha sarvachinta samustitaha saprashantaha saprashantaha suprashantaha sakrujyotihi samadhirachalo abhayaha. The self is devoid of all external organs and is above all internal organs. It is exclusively serene, eternally resplendent, divinely absorbed, unchanging and fearless. The self or the Brahman, both are one. No external organs, no internal organs. So, the mind is the internal organ. That is not there. By excluding the external organs, he is negating the gross body. By negating the internal organ, he is negating the subtle body. And he says, it is exquisitely serene, eternally resplendent, divinely absorbed, unchanging and fearless. By telling unchanging and fearless, he is removing the causal body. No ignorance in it, no maya, no ignorance in it. So, in Brahman, what he has negated? He has negated the gross body, the subtle body, and the causal body. After negation, whatever is remaining, that is yourself, that is Brahman. Bas. This much we have to experience. Very simple. Huh? We have to experience, not to know. The knower of Brahman is Brahman itself. That has been proved by the Shruti. Brahma Veda, Brahma Bhavati. That Brahman is, he says, the masculine gender. Masculine gender. Actually, you see, Brahma is masculine. And just as Rama, Ramo, Rama, Brahma, Brahmo, Brahma. Only one Brahman is there. How you are getting so many plural Brahmans? That is the creators, they are many. Because of taking in the cycles. In one cycle, one Brahma is there. So Brahma also we can. But that is masculine gender. But the actual Brahman, which is your Atman, and it is not different from you, that is neutral gender. Brahma, Brahmani, Brahmani. He says, it is neutral gender. But now he is explaining here with the masculine gender. Brahma. That's why he says, Sarve Abhilapa Vigataha. That means, Abhilapa means speech. The speech indicates the organ of speech, and by that it is indicated all the actions, all these organs of the sense organs of action. So, Sarva Abhilapa Vigataha. Nothing is there. That means no sense organs. Then he says, Sarva Chinta Samuthitaha. There is, he says, no perplexity, not even say vibration, no tension of mind, no stress of mind, nothing is there. Chinta. Unnecessarily thinking, what will happen, what is going to happen. All these things are there called chinta. So, that comes to the mind and intellect. That is not there. That means mind is not there. That is internal organ is not there. And saprasantaha, exclusively serene, he says, santa. Sakrajyotihi, it is eternally resplendent, always resplendent. Eternally, divinely absorbed, samadhihi, that is Atman, Brahman. Achalaha, unchanging and fearless. That is why it is not having any name or form. Why he told so many things? There is no name for it, no form for it. Now he says, Abhilapyate anena iti abhilapo vakkaranam sarva prakarasya abhidhanasya tasmad vigataha. That by which words are uttered, that is to say, organ of speech, that utters words in all manner. That which has transcended, that is called abhilapa vigataha. Visheshen vigataha. Viparitangata. Viparitangata, it is not there. Vigataha. Vitaragha, we say. Here, speech is suggestive in its usage. It means that it is devoid of all external organs. Vagatra upalakshanartha sarva bahya undali kada. How it will, then how it comes, it means that it is devoid of all external organs. Instead of bahya, he has written is Brahma. So, change this Brahma into bahya. Aika అందులో కూడా అలాగే ఉందా నీ ఒరిజినల్లో there it should be bahya. Otherwise we cannot make this meaning. It means that it is devoid of all external organs. External is called bahya, but it says sarva brahma karanavarjitaha. Or we have to remove the word sarva. Brahma karanavarjitaha. In that also we can say no organs in Brahman. But because he has used the adjective sarva, he should bahya, organs. Sarva chinta samuthitaha. Both types of organs are not there, external and internal. And the Atman is pure. That is sarva chinta samuthitaha. Chintyate anaya iti chinta buddhihi tasyaha samuthito antah karana varjita ityartha. So also the word sarva chinta samuthita, which is used in the sense of that, by virtue of which one could think, namely intellect, that which has gone beyond this, that is, that which is devoid of inner instrument, that is, sense, mind, etc. Again he says, antakarana varjita ityata. Aprano hyamana subro hyaksharat parta partaha. Is evident by the Shruti. Then how can you say it is sarva chinta samuttita? There is no mind, there is no the intellect. That is evidenced by the Shrutis, such as it is devoid of vital air, bereft of mind, pure and higher than the high unmanifested. Unmanifested is, we can tell the both. Unmanifested, only half goes to Hiranyagarbha. Why? A name is there. A name is there, and it is in subtle form. In the same way, unmanifested goes to Ishvara also half, not full. Why? Name is there, but for both form is not there. But in scripture, it is told avyakta. that name and forms are not there of the universe. That is the Virat, etc. So, before manifesting the name and form, the Ishvara and Hiranyagarbha is called Avyakta. They take, only if name is there, form is not there, you cannot imagine in the relative plane. Name is there, but form is not there. How can you imagine? So, they take it both into consideration. Aprano, no mind. Then it is pure and higher than the high unmanifested. That is aksharat paratah paraha. Na ksharati iti aksharaha. That is, in some places they say Hiranyagarbha, in some places they tell Ishvara, and in some places they tell illusion. Uttama purushastvanyaha paramatmeti daharataha na dvavamo purushaloke ksharasa akshar evacha ksharas sarvani bhutani kutasto akshar uchyate. There kutastha he takes as illusion. But the unmanifested, we can take anything. Avyakta means both Hiranyagarbha also comes, Ishvara also comes, and illusion also comes. So, it is beyond all these things. Aksharat. And here he says, it is beyond the cause. Ishvara is the seed form for the whole universe. That beyond the effects, that is gross, no subtle, no causal, no cause. So for this he is giving another adjective, yasmat. Yasmat sarva vishaya varjito atha suprashantaha. As it is devoid of all objects, it is exquisitely, how you pronounce? Exquisitely. We take the meaning. Why so much trouble? Excellently. It is excellently serene. Exquisitely, it is serene. Sakrit Jyotihi. It says, Sakrit Jyotihi, eternally effulgent as the consciousness, which is the self. Yasmat sarva vishaya varjitaha ataha suprashanta sakrit jyoti sada eva jyotir atma chaitanya swarupena then samadhi. So here this word is used, samadhi. Samadhi nimitta prajna avagamyatva samadhiti asminitiva samadhi. The commentator simply says, samadhiyate asmin itiva samadhi, where the mind is kept. But he just expands a little. Asmin parasmin natmani nikshipyate jiva tadupadhisya. The jiva also is put and the upadhi also is put. That it will dissolve only in Paramatma. So samadhi means Paramatma. Achalo avikriya atayeva abhayo vikriya bhavad. Samadhi, divinely absorbed, meaning it is noble through the awareness developed through samadhi, which is high state of concentration. It is called samadhi also because the mind is concentrated on it. Achala, unchanging, hence it is fearless as it is free from change. It is free from change, he says. The jiva in the absolute, he merges the mind that the limiting adjunct, we should understand that samadhitvam, paramatmatvam, the Brahmanness. So it is told vikriya bhavat. That is why no change in it has been told. Now he is going further. Yasmat brahmaiva samadhi achalo abhaya ityuktam. Now he says, in the beginning he told, he says, meaning it is knowable through the awareness developed through samadhi. It is called samadhi also because the mind is concentrated on it. But now what he says, since it is said that Brahman is divinely absorbed, unchanging and fearless, therefore. But now, you see, Brahmaiva Samadhi. If you go to the meaning, if you go to the Sanskrit meaning, what he says? Yasmat Brahma eva Samadhi. What is Samadhi? Brahman itself is Samadhi, he says. But the translation is little different. Why? Since it is said that Brahman, what is Samadhi? Brahman is divinely absorbed, unchanging and fearless, therefore. That Brahman is called Samadhi. Graho na tatra na utsarga chinta yatra na vidyate atmasamstam tadha jnanam ajati samatangatam. Now, he says, where there is no thought, whatever, there is no acceptance or rejection, then knowledge rooted in the self attains the state of birthlessness and sameness. Where there is no thought whatever, there is no acceptance or rejection, your nature is self, Atman. So, you are knowing your own self. So, there will be no rejection, no acceptance. That is why previously we have discussed, first we have to make the mind. We have to make the mind. What you will make? You have to manifest in your mind that Brahmakara vritti. And then, by what? By purification and removing all other impressions. Only one particular impression should be dominating the mind. That we call it as Brahmakara vritti. That means, how you have made it? By reading the scriptures, by hearing from the master, and by contemplating on that, somehow Brahmakara vritti you have made. But that is in the mind. So what is the object for that? For the mind, the Brahman is the object. So far clear? It is the concept in the mind, Brahmakara vritti. So, for that, an object is there. That is Brahman. Where from you got it? With the help of the scriptures, with the help of the master, you got that. But to be in that, you have to dissolve this one also. To become one, now there is difference. Subject and object is there. But there, the object is not different from you. Though you say through the impression of that particular mind, I am experiencing Brahman, but that Brahman is not different from you. So, there is no rejection and no acceptance. And then, after some time, this particular impression dissolves. Then you are in your own self. That's why when an outside object is there, a subject and object will be there. But to know your own self, you are the subject and you are the object. Atmanyeva atmana tushta. That means, in the beginning, I thought I am one with mind. Now I am thinking I am not the mind, I am the self. Bas. Atmanyeva atmana tushta. So, they say, Phalavyapti is not there. Phalavyapti in Sanskrit. Vrittivyapti is there. Vrittivyapti, Phalavyapti means I see an object. So, this particular object's impression is there in my mind. That is called Phalavyapti. Vritti is the impression. But to know thy own self, there is no Phalavyapti, only Vrittivyapti. Somehow or other, Bahukar cook. What they say? Bahukar cook. You have to make only one impression dominate in your mind. So, you are the experiencer, you have to experience, and it is not different from you. So, they say, for knowing Brahman, there is no Phalavyapti, because it is not an object outside. For outside object, Phalavyapti is there. To know thy own self, no Phalavyapti, but Vrittivyapti is there. You have to make the mind, and that it dissolves. We already calculated after 28.5 minutes, that also gone. So, there is no rejection, there is no acceptance in your own self or Brahman. That he is telling. Where there is no thought whatever, there is no acceptance or rejection, then knowledge rooted in the self attains the state of birthlessness and sameness. So he says knowledge rooted in the self. That when rooted in the self, it is knowledge itself. It is not an object to know through mind. There is no scope of mind or objects there. That's why he says, Chinta yatra na vidyate. If we know that what is the result, then he says, Atma samstaha. He has emerged in the self itself. Samstaha. The word samstaha in Sanskrit, sta gati nivruttau. There is no movement. And nicely he is there without any movement. Brahma samstaha is in Brahman. Grihastaha is in how? Grihastaha is in whom? Grihastha is in house. That means, what is home? Family and children. What else will be there? So, like that here is Brahmastaha. He is Brahman. He is staying. Pervasion of fruits. The Phalavyapti is, he says, pervasion of fruits.
Pervasion of the mind intellectually.
Pervasion of mind is called Vrittivyapti. Pervasion of fruits, it is called Phalavyapti. Then ajati, it says, Brahma samstaha tatha jnanam ajati. That is birthlessness. Na jati ta jati. Ajaha. It never takes birth, it is always there, it is eternal. It is the real thing. And sameness. Why the... Then he asks, he is asking another thing, the opponent. In the relative plane, we see so many Vedic rites and so many worldly actions we see. Vedic rites and worldly actions. Vedic rites and worldly actions. Why the Vedic and worldly rites are not there in Brahman? You told no acceptance, no rejection. But in Vedic rites, so many we have to take, we have to give up. And in worldly life also, we give up so many things, we take up so many things. These two things are not there. Why? That is the opponent asking question. Yasmat. He says, Yasmat. Yasmat Brahmaiva Samadhi Rachalo Abhaya Ityuktam. Since it is said that Brahman is divinely absorbed, unchanging and fearless, therefore. Now he says, Na tatra tasmin brahmani graho grahanam upadanam na utsarga utsarjanam hanam va vidyate. In that Brahman, there is neither acceptance nor rejection. Where there is modification or possibility of it, there will be rejection or acceptance. When the modification is there, modification of what? Of the body, of the agent limited, limiting agent. So, if there is a modification, but Brahman is changeless, it is birthless, then how can you say that the change is there? Because of the limiting agent. Oh, when there is a modification of gross body or subtle body or causal body, then only there is the possibility of rejection and acceptance. But these two do not take place here in Brahman, since there is no other thing which may bring about a change, and since Brahman is spotless. There is nothing is there besides him to create for sustenance or resolution. He is all-pervading. And then he says, it is spotless.
Acceptance and rejection is under pressure?
No. Hana upana. You see, because you have accepted the limiting agent, you wanted to reject it.
So identification and negation?
No. Acceptance and rejection. Hana upadana. Upadana means we have accepted this because of the ignorance. So we have to reject it. Giving up the ignorance. That's why the opponent asked, there are Vedic rites, their acceptance and rejection is there. Na kalanjam bhakshayet. Don't eat the flesh which has died, the flesh of an animal which has died with a poisonous arrow. Kalanjana bhakshayet. Mahimsa sarva bhutani. That is also rejection. Acceptance. Kariri yagena vrushtikamo ejeto. That with kariri yaga you will be getting rain. Acceptance. And then Dojishtomena Swarga Kamo Ejeta. If you want to go to heaven, you should do. So, in the rites, in the Vedic rites, there are acceptance and rejection. In the same way, day-to-day life, we accept so many things, we reject so many things. These two things are not there.
Here, Swamiji, it's related to upadhi.
Yes.
To upadhi.
Upadhi.
So acceptance and rejection of upadhis.
Upadhi. No. In Brahman, these two things are not there. They come because of the upadhi.
Okay, but acceptance means like identifying with something.
That is only in relative.
Relative.
Ah. It is only relative. In relative, we accept so many things, we reject so many things. Through intelligence and through the body, through senses.
And does rejection here mean discrimination?
No.
No.
Just give up. Of course, through discrimination you give up. The mind, the body, the senses, everything. So, don't mix the words discrimination and rejection.
Not to.
That is the cause, this is the effect.
Simple word like taking and giving is not in
That of course I wrote like that in the beginning.
very simple terms.
You see,
You can say taking and giving.
taking and giving I wrote. But afterwards I saw the English translation, so I have taken the... So taking and giving up is not there in your own self, in Atman. That's all.
In English language, taking and giving is a transaction.
Ah.
Can we say there are no transactions in Brahman?
Yes, sir.
In the relative.
In the relation.
But the actual taking and giving up, in the Vedic rites, we have to vidhi and nishedha, he says. So, some of the rites we have to take, some we have to reject. So, in that sense,
That is not in Brahman.
that is not in Brahman.
The transactions.
The transactions of the worldly life as well as the transactions of the Vedic rites. It is not there. But these two do not take place here in Brahman, rejection and acceptance. Since there is no other thing which may bring about a change, and since Brahman is partless. Only one thing is there, everything else is simply one word, superimposition, bas. With one word we can reject the whole thing, nothing is there. Very simple. Simply reject everything and be your own self. The meaning is that for these reasons there is no rejection or acceptance, there is no thought also, meaning since the mind has ceased to be mind and thoughts of any kind do not occur, how can there be rejection or acceptance? That also it says. Yatra hi vikriya tad vishayatvam va tatra hanopadane syatam na tadvayamiha brahmani sambhavati. No taking, no giving up. Vikar hetor anyasya abhava nirayatvacha. There is nothing is there besides Brahman. And it is partless. In a partless thing, ether, what to take and what to give up. Ato na tatra hanopadani tatra. Chinta yatra na vidyate. It says, there is no thought. But here is simply, he has translated as thought. He did not. But it is chinta, that is, now I am having a thought. That is sankalpa. I wanted to do this. But because of something, you are constantly disturbed. How this will happen, how that can be done, worried. That is called chinta. So, chinta you can say worry. W-O-R-R-Y, worry. But here, of course, he has given that as thought.
Chintanam iti chinta.
Oh.
Chintanam iti chinta.
That means that by which you think. That is, he has taken as mind. So, better to know little Sanskrit.
ఇక్కడ రాశారు కదా భాష్యకారులు సర్వ ప్రకార ఇది చింతాంగ సంభవతి అంటే ఏది చింతనం అక్కడ అవ్వదు నో థాట్స్ సర్వ ప్రకార
Mind has ceased to be the mind, and thoughts of any kind do not occur. How can there be rejection or acceptance? So, but actual word, if you take chinta, it is worry. But here he has taken by which you are thinking. That is the doer has been told as here is the object, chinta. Huh? Huh? No, chinta means worry. Worry in the actual sense, but here he has taken it as mind. By that which you think, that is mind. So he says, in the mind we are having thoughts, thoughts are not there. Mind has ceased to be mind, and thoughts of any kind do not occur. So, mind has ceased to be mind, he says, sarva prakara eva chinta na sambhavati. That thinking itself is not there, he says. Yatra amanaha, then mind becomes amaska. The mind has ceased to be the mind. Now again he says, yada eva atma satyanubodho jataha tada eva atma samstaha. When you really, actually, when you experience the Atman, yada eva atmani anubodha, then you will be in that atma samstaha. Vishya bhavat. There is no other object besides you. Agni vustavad atmani eva sthitam jnanam. Just like the heat and light are there in the fire itself. You cannot separate it. So, there is, he says, there is no other object besides you. Vishya bhavat. Atmani eva sthitam jnanam. And where it is? This particular knowledge is there in the Atman itself. So, ajati, no birth, samatam gatam, and it is birthless and sameness, equality, equanimity is there. When the realization of truth, that is the self dawns. Dawns, that is Udaya, manifest. Then alone knowledge becomes rooted in the self.
దానికి ఇంగ్లీష్ ట్రాన్స్లేషన్ ఏమో వీళ్ళు 441 పేజ్ మీద ఇచ్చారు అది ఒకసారి చెప్పండి వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఆత్మ సత్యానుబోధ సో ఇట్స్ ద ఇంగ్లీష్ ట్రాన్స్లేషన్ ఈస్ గివెన్ ఆన్ ద పేజ్ 441
ఎక్కడ?
ద రియలైజేషన్ ఆఫ్ ద ట్రూత్ ఆఫ్ ద సెల్ఫ్ త్రూ ద ఇన్స్ట్రక్షన్స్ ఆఫ్ ద స్క్రిప్చర్స్ అండ్ టీచర్స్.
Atma, this we have explained at that time. That you can underline it and you color it otherwise. The realization of truth of the self through the instructions of the scriptures and teachers is called Atma Satya Anubodaha. 441. And there he writes the Sanskrit word also. Hmm. Home. 441. Fourth line. So when the realization of the truth, that is the self dawns, then only knowledge becomes rooted in the self owing to the absence of sensory objects, like the heat that becomes absorbed in fire. When the fuel is taken out, where the fire has gone? It is absorbed in itself. In the same way. And attains the state of birthlessness and the sameness. Again he is telling, he is explaining yada eva. Ajati. He says, Ajati jati varjitam. This has been told in the beginning of the chapter. He says, this we have explained in the beginning, he says. Beginning, akarpanyam, no limitations in that. So, that is ajati. This has been told in the beginning of this chapter. Then why you are repeating ajati? He says, yad adau. Yad adau. Pratigyatam ato vaksham akarpanyam ajati samatam gatam iti idam tad upapattitah shastrasya uktam upasamhrete. To close the particular chapter, which has been started, that is upakrama upasamhara. With what you start, with that you have to close the topic. In the beginning, knowledge has been told. What has been started as akarpanyam is now being closed. Upasamhara. But he says, the knowledge of Brahman itself is akarpanyam. Karpanya, actually, see, the actual word is stingy. Kripanata, in some places, he is a stingy fellow, we say. He is not giving up anything of his. But here, they have translated it as limited, limiting. Not limited, and that is not limited is akarpanya. So, in Bradharanyaka, the Agyavalkya says, without knowing this, if you leave this world, you are a kripana, he says. You are a stingy fellow. Miser. Miser. Everything is within you and you don't want to experience. That's why you are a miser. He is miserable, he says. But miser is miserable because he wanted to protect the money he don't want to give. Akarpanyam. So, closing the topic. Then now opponent says, what you say is not logical. Etasmat. Yadado pratignyata mato vakshame akarpanyam ajati samatam gatam iti idam tadupapatita sastrasya vuktam upasamrite ajati samatam gatam. Etasmat atmasatyanubodhat karpanya vishayam anyat. Whatever is there besides this, that is karpanyam misery, he says. Yova ete dakshanam gargya viditva asman lokat preti sakrupanaha. So he is limited. Iti sute. Prapya etat sarvam kritakutyo brahmano bhavati. Now he says, not Brahmana. One who gets this, experiences this, then he becomes in the real sense the Brahmana jati. By jatya he becomes Brahman. By caste through caste he becomes real Brahmin. Let us see what is the meaning. What has been promised at the beginning in such words, therefore I shall describe that Brahman which is free from limitations. There he says akarpanyam, no limitation. Is unborn and is ever the same, has been fulfilled in the light of reasoning and scriptural instructions, and it is concluded here with the expression, attains the state of birthlessness and sameness. Everything else being different from the realization of the truth, that is the self, implies misery. As is seen from the Sruti, whatsoever, O Gargi, departs from this world, whosoever, O Gargi, departs from this world without knowing the indestructible is miserable. The drift is that by knowing this, one becomes Brahmana, fulfilling all one's desires. Brahmajnani Brahmana. Brahma jnatum ichchati iti Brahmana. Brahma jignasa Brahmana. Like that we can. What is there besides knowledge is limited. For that he is showing the Sruti, Yuva ete daksharam gargi. Without knowing this, whoever goes is miserable. If knowledge is not there, there will be limitation, karpanyam. That what is? Then what is the result? He is miserable. Now, he is going further that asparsha yoga he is going. Advaitanubhavo asparshaha. Our teacher told the experience of the non-dualism, the monism, the one Brahman is called asparsha yoga. Varnashramadi dharmena papadi malena asparsham. Why? No caste, no creed, no gender. And then no sin, no bad. Not attach it to anything. That is called asparsham. So, advaitanubhavo asparshaha. Like this our. Here you see, yadyapi idamitham paramatha tattvam tathapi tasmin kechid muhyanti ityaha. This much portion is left in Sanskrit. Yes. Could you get? The 39th beginning, you see our scripture, Yadyapi idamitham paramatha tattvam. But that these particular words are not there. Tathapi tasmin kechin muhyanti ityaha. This much is not there in your text. This you have to note down from the Sanskrit. You note it down, everybody. By that time we are coming. 2 minutes rest. Somehow they have missed this particular from the original. Om. Though the supreme reality is such, still few of them are deluded. In that. Tasmin. Why he says, if it is the highest, Why everybody is not realizing that? Then he says, this Karika, Asparsha yogo vainama durdarsha sarva yogebhi yogino bibhyati hi asmad abhaye bhayadarshinaha. This yoga that is said to be not in touch with anything is hard to be received by any one of the yogis. For the yogis who behold fear in what is fearless are afraid of it. It is fearless. And what is the fear? He says we will lose our existence, we lose our caste, we lose our dharma, all these things, he says. So by nature, it is asparsha. No caste, no creed, no virtue, no vice, no sin. It is simply attached, detached. That's why he say, not in touch with anything. Nothing can touch it. You see. Asparsha. Experience of the highest is difficult for the followers of actions, those who follow the actions and rites of the Vedas, karma yogis, and extrovert people. Very difficult persons. Yoginaha, that's why it says, because they are attached to the ritual actions and rites, and they are extroverts. That's why they say they are afraid that we will lose everything, they think. Yogino bibhyati. Knowledge is staying in the self that is accepted. Yadyapi. Yadyapi idam itham. Though the Supreme Reality is like this, still in that many are deluded. The Supreme Reality, that is Brahman, that is within us, pratyak bhutam, prati anchati iti pratyak. That is, it is within us, the Supreme Reality is within us. The knowledge of partless and immovable is to be attained. That is the real knowledge. But he says, dull-witted persons, ignorant persons, those who are attached to something else, actions, the extrovert people, all of them are not having firmness in it. Though they talk, but they are not having firmness. The result of realization is being explained. Asparsha yogo vainama. So, what is the result of realizing that? It is this yoga that is said to be not in touch with anything. It ought to be perceived by any one of the yogis. For the yogis who behold fear in what is fearless are afraid of it. Asparsha. Not touched by caste, race, state of life, virtues followed by them. That is the yoga of Jiva, to be united in Brahman. What is yoga? That day also I have explained. Yujir Yoga. In the evening class, I have explained Yujir Yoga, that is oneness, is called yoga. Brahma bhavena yojanat. In Sanskrit, what it says? To become one with Brahman, Brahma bhavena. That Brahmanness are becoming united with that is called Brahma bhava. Then he says, Asparsha yoga namayam sarva sambandhak sparsha varjitatvam. The commentary, we will do it again.